Well, if you look up the word consistency in the dictionary, I think you'd find the name of Clayton Harmey certainly there in bold letters, with 7 or 8 Newcastle titles to his credit. I caught up with Clayton to have a chat about his career. Well, Clayton, great to catch up with you. As I said in the introduction, Mr. Consistency. Each year you seem to set yourself a goal of at least 100 winners, and it continues to bear fruit.
Yeah, that's right, and thanks for having me. Yeah, it's sort of hard in Hunter Valley to be able to get to that number, but yeah, I try to set a goal every year to get around the 100 winners, and last year was probably the last year I was going to chase that. I'm sort of with my back and stuff, things are getting a bit harder now, so we're sort of just I'm taking a little bit of a back step, and still got a team of horses and a few nice young ones and stuff like that. So yeah, so I don't think this year we'll reach the 100, but yeah, we've had a couple of good past seasons.
It's a wonderful achievement when you consider the depth of trainers in that particular region, the Elders, the Calligans. It just goes on that list.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, it's a good little bunch, and then you sort of throw in the Sydney people that come up, and they're always very hard when they come to Newcastle to try to beat, Luke and Robbie and stuff like that. So yeah, it's sort of yeah, at times it's easy racing there, and at other times it's quite hard when the Sydney people come up.
Clayton, your involvement in harness racing stems back to your uncle Alan.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, my father only owned horses, but Alan was a trainer himself, and that's sort of given me a kickstart and got me going a bit. And unfortunately, Alan passed away there a while ago, and it was a bit of a kick in the guts kind of thing. He was a sort of big influence on me earlier in my life and helped me out a lot. But I still go back to things that he taught me, and yeah, he was a great influence on my career.
What would one of those main lessons be?
Just shoeing mainly. Yeah, he was very good at shoeing. He'd take time, and yeah, he'd sort of correct any kind of shoeing. He was quite good like that.
And Alan was also a good guide for other people growing up in the industry who wanted to learn.
Yeah, he would help anyone. Yeah, he's a lovely bloke.
And you also had a fine horseman on the other side of the family.
Yeah, my grandfather, he was never in harness racing, but he was a galloping trainer and well known in the area of livestock and cattle, and he was a stockman for Avatars up there back in the day. So he's still alive today. He's 95 and going well, but he's been a big influence on my life as well.
So what age are we talking about, Clayton, as far as you getting involved in harness racing and then really getting the bug?
Yeah, it wasn't until about 16, 17 I was in the rugby league more, and then I just wasn't quite good enough. I had a bit of a go there just in the junior league of the Knights. I wasn't good enough to take that next step, so I thought, well, I better find something else to do. And Alan was training, and so I gave harness racing a go. And one of my first jobs was with Jason Proctor. Spent about 12 months with him, and Clary Sweeney. Spent a bit of time with Clary as well before he unfortunately passed. And then once Clary passed, I sort of ventured out on my own and haven't looked back since then.
It's been a wonderful experience coming up through the Newcastle Knight system.
Yeah, it was good, yeah. It sort of taught me a little bit that when you go there and you train, they train you pretty hard. So that's where the good people come out, you know what I mean? If you can cop their training, then that's when you step up to the big time. But yeah, I just couldn't cope with it.
Clayton, your career was coming along very nicely until 2014 it come to a sudden halt in a big way.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I sort of drove plenty of winners. I sort of wasn't the best out there, but I won a scholarship for harness racing to go to America and won premierships in my junior days. And unfortunately 2014 I had a bad accident at Newcastle and haven't driven since.
And at the time you got up and you didn't think it was going to be as serious as it turned out.
No, correct, yeah. I just had lower back pain and stuff like that, and it wasn't until they started doing scans, and because I sort of was getting a lot of numbness in my foot, and they started seeing the effects of the crash.
Yeah, and then we're talking about severe nerve damage, 2 plates, numerous screws in your back, 4 back operations. Yeah,
that's correct, yeah. I've had screws, they went through my throat and screwed and put carbon fibre disc up there, and then just below my belly button they went through there and done the bottom as well. So it sort of killed the back pain a little bit, but I still get a lot of nerve pain in my foot, and so it's just something now I've just got to deal with and move on.
What has given you a lease on life is the fact that you've introduced young talent, very enthusiastic, very exciting as far as their skill in the gig, and no doubt learning a lot from you, Grace Panella and Blake Hughes.
Yeah, they're both, they've sort of kept us going, or kept me going, and family. They both come to me at a young age. Blake was first, and he done a really good job, and he drove, 100 winners in a season there, and he then had a little break and went to Tamworth and tried to go out on his own, and then Grace joined me. She started off a bit slow, but then really hit her straps after about 6 months. And then Blake came back, and then both of them just really got into it, and both had great seasons last year.
And Clayton, it must give you some satisfaction as far as your own health is concerned, that you know that things will continue on with these two youngsters.
Yeah, that's correct. Yeah, they do a good job. They're hard working at the stables, and without them, I would be probably training 2 or 3 horses, and not the team that we're training now.
How many horses do you have in work?
We're having about just 18 at the moment, so a bit quiet, but there's a lot of babies and that just getting broken in, which will put the team up to 25 or more.
You enjoy the country circuit. You won races such as the Inner City Mile, the Gold Guitar, and also the Gold Nugget.
Yeah, I try to tick off the local races, and it was good. An owner, Alan McCall, he's been really good to me since coming on, and he bought a couple of nice Kiwi horses in Wet My Whistle at won the Golden Guitar, and it was a Group 2 then, actually, 50,000. I think it's the first time it was ever. It hasn't been ran since for that. And then another fella he bought was On Quick as Fire. It won the Inner City Pace with him, so that was great to win them 2 races. And winning the Gold Nugget and just races like that has just been tick off my list along the way. So it's been good just to win the local features.
What horses have mean a lot to you?
Stormy Crusader, and I still have him today. He's 23-year-old and still looks just as well as what he did when I raced him, and he lives with a horse called Chloe, and both of them mean a lot to me. Yeah, and I've got them both. Though. One's 23 and one's 24, and then moving on to now, St Crusader. He's done a lot for me, and he's running really well. He's done a great job in limited starts that he's had. I've never had any top grade horses, but just had nice bread and butter horses, which just got me through. And I enjoy that part of life. I'm sort of not keen on travelling that much anymore, so I just like poking around at home. And I don't venture to Sydney too often now.
Well, you'll be heading back to headquarters on Tuesday afternoon for a very strong program of racing we have here under the Australian Pacing Gold Bullion banner in race 7. You've got number 1 Big Boz, 2-year-old colt, 5 starts, 2 wins and a placing.
Yeah, he goes pretty good, Boz. We took him to Queensland because he was Q-bred, and Charlie Seeney looked after him up there and won a race for him, and then we brung him home eyeing off this race. Obviously we knew it was going to be hard, but he's paid up for it, and he won quite well at Newcastle last week, and we've come up with a good barrier, so now we just need a bit of luck, and hopefully he's good enough and we might get there.
Yeah, Blake takes the drive there, and Grace Panella and your other 2 in race 9, number 3, Shirley, a very consistent filly.
Yeah, she goes pretty good. She's taken on the older horses, but I just brung her down because we got a good draw here. We're up home. She's racing, same grade, but drawing bad because it's drawn on prize money around Newcastle 9 times out of 10 the last 5. So she kept drawing bad. Where this race here on Tuesday, she's going to get a good draw. So that's why we brung her down as well. And I'm quick as fire. He just come to full the float up. Yeah, he's a good old horse. He's no star, but he just always rocks up.
Yeah, he goes around in the last event from a wide gate. Is there a horse from the stable, Clayton, we can follow in the future?
St Crusader, I think, and Noisy Crusader. He's a 2-year-old that I've got as well. He's only had 2 starts with 2 seconds, and Big Boz beat him last week. But I think both of them horses will keep feeding me and the family for a little bit longer.
Well, Clayton, it's been great to catch up with you. Good to see you here at Club and Eagle, and we look forward to seeing you in the Winter Circle on a few occasions as well.
Thank you.